You know what? I'm the most dominant and most well-rounded welterweight on the planet. Nobody can stop me. And that's why they're all afraid to fight.
Kamaru, the Nigerian Nightmare, Usman.
Hello folks, welcome back to our channel. Today we will be talking about the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman. He is the best of the best and an undefeated champion in the UFC. What is the source of his unbelievable skill? Stay tuned to find out. Number 10, his unique childhood. Kamaru Usman's journey started in Auchi, Nigeria on May 11, 1987. His father was personnel in the Nigerian army and his mother worked as a teacher. Usman had a difficult childhood in Nigeria. Most children have nothing to worry about except for their toys and studies. 5-year-old Usman, on the other hand, had to walk a distance with his grandmother to fetch fresh water. Usman's father also had to stay away for a long time in the U.S. to make immigration provisions. Usman's family finally migrated to Dallas, Texas, when he was 8 years old to have a better chance at life. Kamaru has frequently spoken about his experience with assimilation as an immigrant in American society. Usman's experience as a Nigerian child laid the foundation of the UFC champion that we know today. He says that his childhood has made him think differently and has been a source of motivation for him. Number 9, his wrestling career. Usman has conveyed that wrestling was his call. His natural flair for wrestling was perfected in high school. Do you want to know how Kamaru got the name Marty? His coach had difficulty pronouncing his name, thus he called Kamaru Marty. The name stuck to him in the early years of his wrestling career.
Marine guy, he was just like, I'm not going to say that. You look like a Marty, I'm going to call you Marty. So I'm like, I'm this little 5'2", 103-pound kid, and I'm like, sure, coach, all right. You know, I was in there to learn, and, you know, the one thing he's failing to realize, and he's thinking it's an insult, but the reason he knows that name is because I continue to thrive and excel at what I was doing.
Marty was a folk-style wrestler at William Penn University. In fact, he had a chance to wrestle at the NIIA National Tournament in 2007, but something stopped him from attending. It was a snowstorm. Can you believe this? His team and his coach had left him because of the storm, which prompted Usman to join the University of Nebraska instead. Usman was a top wrestler in the nation when he was a student at the University of Nebraska and a national finalist. He once finished a season with 30 wins under his belt. Too bad, William Penn University. Kamaru wanted to foray into the world of freestyle wrestling at the Olympics and even qualified for the U.S. Olympic training program. Unfortunately, due to an onslaught of injuries, Usman couldn't qualify for the Olympics. This put an end to his wrestling career, but opened the doors of mixed martial arts for him. Number 8, his stint with the BLACKZILIANS. Kamaru's MMA career started at the BLACKZILIANS. This camp is known to provide training and support to budding mixed martial arts fighters, and Kamaru was no exception. It's mentioned that his starting days at the camp were arduous for him due to his background as a pure wrestler. The camaraderie combined with rigorous training at the camp has been integral to Kamaru's success as a fighter. He received the opportunity to represent the BLACKZILIANS against the American top team in Ultimate Fighter, a match which he famously won. The BLACKZILIANS have disbanded, but its members are still shining bright in the MMA world. Examples being Rashad Evans, Eddie Alvarez, and the Nigerian Nightmare himself. Number 7, his time at the Ultimate Fighter. Usman was selected to fight in Ultimate Fighter 2015. In the quarterfinal round of the first match, Usman fought and won against Michael Graves, who was previously undefeated. Welterweight powerhouse Steve Carl faced Usman in the semifinal round. Usman won again and advanced to the finals where he faced Hader Hassan. Hader tapped to an arm triangle choke, which led to Usman's victory and a golden contract with the UFC. Kamaru's status as a proficient fighter was solidified when legendary NFL player Christopher Okoye permitted him to use the title of the Nigerian Nightmare. One of his trainers, Henry Hooft, has said that Usman's win at the Ultimate Fighter was a step for him to go to the next level. No wonder Usman is so ruthless in his matches. Ultimate Fighter has provided him with some valuable experience. Number 6. His streak of UFC wins. In his first UFC match in 2015, Kamaru squared off against Leon Edwards. The match was his first win at UFC, which marked the beginning of a glorious streak of winning matches. In 2016, Alexander Yakovlev faced Usman but was defeated after Usman cornered him. Warlley Alves, winner of the Brazilian Ultimate Fighter 3, also tasted defeat at the hands of Usman. Usman locked horns against Sean Strickland in 2017. This fight was another win in his win streak. After a grueling fight with Sergio Moraes, Usman once again established himself as undefeated in UFC after he knocked Moraes out with a single punch. A match with Emil Weber-Meek had to be postponed because of some travel issues. Eventually, Usman continued his winning streak after defeating Meek by pinning him to the ground and faced Demian Maia in 2018. Maia had been a UFC title challenger and a rival of Usman. Nevertheless, the Nigerian Nightmare outperformed him and won by a large margin in the match.
You know, this just to let everybody know, for the longest, everyone's talking about, oh, I haven't fought a top 10 guy. That's a legend that's been in the game, 2-time title challenger, and I just dominated him from start to finish.
2018 also saw the defeat of Rafael dos Anjos, UFC lightweight champion, at the hands of Kamaru after he fired him with suffocating punches and deadly grappling techniques. Usman earned his second Performance of the Night award as well after his fantastic performance in the match. Number 4. Becoming the UFC welterweight champion. Usman was adorning a 9-win streak by 2019. Usman viciously dominated UFC welterweight champion Tyrone Woodley. This win crowned him as the newest UFC welterweight champion. His passion for MMA was visible as he cheerfully accepted his champion belt. But his title came under threat as he faced Colby Covington. After a long but exciting match which featured unlikely moves by both Usman and Covington, Usman finally emerged victorious after a flurry of punches and referee stoppage. Usman, as well as Covington, received Fight of the Night awards for their brilliant performances. In 2020, Jiu-Jitsu champion Gilbert Burns was supposed to challenge Usman's title, but Burns ended up testing positive for the COVID-19 virus, which put an end to the upcoming match. Jorge Masvidal faced Usman as a backup fighter, but he too was defeated by the Nigerian Nightmare. This was one of the most viewed matches in the history of UFC. The match with Burns finally happened in 2021, and Usman was once again declared the winner after referee stoppage. Usman looked really good and had turned on the heat at the end of the second round. A third Performance of the Night award was given to him because of his win. Kamaru remains undefeated at UFC, and he's expected to face Masvidal again this year. Number 3. His savage fighting style. Kamaru has displayed his confidence multiple times in the matches by proclaiming that no one can defeat him. This fact hasn't changed yet, and we can hope that this won't change anytime soon. Multiple commentators have stated that Usman is relentless and stalks his opponents around the ring before making his move. Usman is known to completely disable his opponents by tiring them out and engaging them in close combat for a long time. His fighting style is compared to Khabib Nurmagomedov, although Usman tends to employ his wrestling skills more. Number 2. His commitment towards discipline. Kamaru is up at 6:30 a.m. every morning to train and prepare for his matches. He says he's always had a natural timer in his head that enables him to wake up early. His diet is pretty carb-heavy, which is understandable because the energy from the carbs is essential for him to maintain his strength as a fighter. He has always cooked for himself, but nowadays he receives his food from a company because of his busy schedule and complicated nutritional requirements. He says that he is naturally lean and needs to eat in large amounts to maintain his physique. It has been said that he has rigorously cultivated his high endurance levels via high-intensity training sessions. Number 1. He learns from his mistakes. Usman hasn't always been undefeated, however. The best in the world was defeated by Jose Caceres in 2013 in his second ever MMA match. Caceres landed a damning punch on Usman and was declared the victor. Usman says that the match has been an important learning opportunity for him. He has said that when he first joined MMA, he was relying on his skills as a wrestler in every single match. His technique of pinning all of his opponents to the ground, regardless of their size, proved to be disastrous for him in his match against Caceres. He admitted that he didn't bother to hone his other skills as an MMA fighter before being defeated by Caceres. But Kamaru learns from his mistakes. He is now known as one of the most dominant players in UFC, who makes full use of his skill set. We don't see any signs of Usman losing any matches in the near future. This man is iconic. A fun fact about Usman is that he was interested in being a marriage counselor because he enjoyed studying the mechanism of the family. Interesting, right? What do you think about Kamaru Usman? Is he the real deal? Does he even belong in the GOAT discussion? Let us know in the comments below. Hit the subscribe button below if you want to see more content like this. Like and share. We'll see you in the next one.
Hey, all I need is 30% for you. You can bring your mom, your cousin, Jesus. And even that might give you a 30% chance to beat me.